the Sirius need?
Well, with the glaive and the fortress combo, that works totally fine. But what Iraqi Zoro is going to have to do here is find somebody that is able to clear very quickly, not soak up too much damage, and rotate down. Having that Ringo, if he chooses it, is very good on his end. This gives him a lot of room to actually help his team in that jungle, making sure that they put as much pressure on Gabe Vizzle with that Cruel.
Well, you know, it's been a long day, so I'm going to ask you to correct me if I'm wrong here, but was it Velocity that we saw run this composition earlier with the double bone saw?
Yeah, and it worked out extremely well for them. They had so much damage coming out of them where they were always moving forward. If you have a composition that's very strong and very aggressive like this, and you're kiting backwards, that means you're gonna lose.
All right, guys. Well, we've got these guys swapping around in the background here. The drafts are ready, and we will now load into the game. And it's incredible to think right now, if Kinetic are able to win this game, they're going to be walking away with first place in our first qualifier. We've loaded into the game, so ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into this and toss it to our wonderful casters one more time. Shinyi and Four-Court Jester, take it away.
Ooh, one more time. Humanist thinks this is going to be a 3-0, Shinyi.
He's been rooting for Velocity, or Kinetic the whole time there. Getting all my hammers mixed up. But yeah, he's been rooting for them the whole time, and I really like the composition coming out from Sirius this time. I feel like it's something that they're very comfortable with, especially Iraqi Zoro on that Ringo.
And actually dodging out that Spitfire, that's good luck. That's a really good sign that this is going to be their game. I'm also very happy that Fuji is going to be once more on this glaive, because I really think that they have a really good shot of kind of trying to punish out T-Tigers a lot.
Yeah, I'm also a bit surprised that they didn't actually go for the Rhyme, because Rhyme in the jungle with against the Cruel and a Finn would have been dream for Rhyme, but I guess against a Scarf it's not so good. But the glaive also works really well, especially for the potential for the ganks very early on.
Well, that's what Rome keeps telling me, that if you see a Scarf, don't go for a Rhyme. So maybe Fuji, it was a grand plan, right? He just played so much Rhyme that you get into the grand final, it's like, all right, we got to counter Rhyme 100%, and then he just never plays it. That is the long con mind game right there.
That was a potential gank there under Hiraki, but he's able to get away thanks to swirling silver there.
Yeah, he's gonna be all right. Yeah, he's level 2. Sweet Generous is not exactly a huge threat right now, and Kroll, level 2 Kroll ganks can actually be very devastating, but this early on, it's just not gonna happen. And Iraqi Zoro, he's just gonna be doing himself all right, no problem. So Rekt and Fuji into that jungle, a little bit of a babysit for T-Tigers, and well, not really too much else going on so far.
I really like that Sweet Generous is setting that bush, because it does give T-Tigers warning of when Rekt and Fuji are coming up, as they just did.
Yeah, sitting in the bush was a great idea, but up against Fuji and Rekt, who have a lot of mobility between them here this early game. And this is what I mean, like with Fuji on that glaive and Rekt on this fortress, there are a lot of better early game opportunities for these guys to kind of make something happen. And well, I thought maybe it was going to be T-Tigers that was punished, but they were actually able to take down the River Troll of Finn, and that's no mean feat this early game.
He's still tanky, but we did see him being afterburned in as much as a Finn can be afterburned. So, but they were still able to do enough damage on him. Fuji's sitting on a few weapon blades, and that's doing quite a significant amount at this early stage in the game.
Rekt, no, you left Iraqi Zoro, and then Gabe Vizzle gets himself the kill. That should be an afterburn. That's going to be 1 kill. Looking for the second with the boots. It's a number 2 for Fuji, and now that's going to leave us Sweet Generous kind of just sitting in lane by himself. This should be some good jungles coming in here for Fuji and Rekt as well.
Yeah, they're finally able to go into Kinetic's jungle for the first time in the last 3 games, so that's looking promising from already. Gabe Vizzle probably shouldn't try and challenge this. He's not going to get much out of it. I think it'll probably be better if he just went in to the side of Gankstars, but Scarf is here to join him, so they potentially pick up 2 kills from this.
Yeah, but all they have to do is kind of jump T-Tigers. I'm not sure Rekt is on the same page as Fuji, but they are going to split, and well, that's going to be a very dead wolf. Fuji! Okay, Fuji, you're good. Man, giving me a little bit of a heart attack right there. But still, I mean, 3-2, a little bit of extra cash onto their side. This is the best we've seen early game for Gankstars.
Well, again, Kinetic are playing a very late game comp, so Scarf and Corona aren't exactly early game so far, so they have to get into the late game to do well. And although they're quite strong, if they can get the poke down from Scarf onto anyone on Gankstars, they will do well. But it's not until he gets his Broken Myth and just reaches around level 8 that he really gets a power spike.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen then at level 8, but Rekt and Fuji are going to come back to lane. Iraqi Zoro is always just continually getting pushed up and up against this turret. We're really trying to make sure that he can't farm that well. That being said, he's at 31 compared to the 23 of T-Tigers. So this early push and push and push strategy is actually not doing T-Tigers any good.
And this has actually been the complete opposite of what we've been seeing in the past 2 games between these two, is that T-Tigers actually being able to consistently keep up with Irakizora and actually out-farm him at times. So it's actually quite pleasant to see Irakizora actually out-farming him by 18 now at 4 minutes. So that's quite a significant difference. It's certainly going to rack up once we get into the late game.
Yeah, Fuji was looking for an angle there for T-Tigers to even make a wider deficit between them, but it's just not going to happen. Fuji's going to take the long way around, but this is just going to give us an opportunity to go spend some of that farm from Irakizora as he does visit that shop.
Well, this is going to be quite close with Gabe Vizzle sitting there. It looks like he's going to get, they're not going to notice each other, so they're all going to get away off just fine. But T-Tigers, he's sitting on a lot of gold. It'll be nice for him to see him spend in the shop, because if we do see Irakizora start to harass T-Tigers, he's not going to do very well and he's going to be suffering quite a bit.
And that's one of the big advantages of going down to the shop as a weapon Ringo. You're harassed as he's coming back more powerful and better suited. Now, could this actually be the jump on top of Sui? It's not going to be it. I was looking for that afterburn. I know you can't actually punt Finn. He's just a little bit too big, but that damage with Iraqi might have been a kill.
Gankstars Sirius are just sticking together much better as a team. They're really rotating much better, and this is just kind of giving them that jungle control that they needed in the past 2 games, but they're actually able to keep it this time. They've got control over the jungle. They are able to steal from Gabe Vizzle, who they know is on his own, so they know they can bully him out of the jungle quite easily.
Well, T-Tigers is going to go spend some of that money that you're looking for, and it looks like it's going to be a broken myth for his first item.
That's quite good, because he can just slowly stack up. Once he reaches that level 6, if he can just poke away using his Spitfires and just stack up to 5 broken myths, he can be doing a lot of damage with the Dragon's Breath. But right now, no one really has that much armor, so Gabe Vizzle and T-Tigers both started with that light armor. But if we look at the damage items coming out from Irakizora and Fuji, that is a lot of weapon. They're both going for that Sorrow Blade, which should be dealing immense amounts of damage.
Yeah, it is double weapon. No Crystal Ringo. And when I saw Irakizora actually pick up the Ringo, I was like, oh man, Crystal Ringo, I don't like this at all. But now they're weapons, so I like it a lot more now. The thing is, like, we've seen this before. We saw double crystal. We've seen a lot of double crystal. The double weapon worked out in the 1 game we've seen it today. This is a big test for Gankstars to make it work here in the 2nd.
They're making it work quite well so far, so although it's 3-2, they do have a 2k gold lead right now, which is really, really nice to see. T-Tigers, they're getting a bit of damage there from Fuji.
Yeah, I'm not entirely too sure they knew or they suspected that Fuji was there, but either way, I mean, if you walk right into that axe, you're going to pay for it a little bit. We did get a Sorrow Blade on that rotation, so the 6-minute Sorrow Blade comes out. Irakizora, he's just absolutely flying through this farm.
To be generous, has just picked up that fountain, so he didn't go for Apologens very early on. I imagine that's because he doesn't really have a gap closer at this point, like he would on a Catherine, so he can't really get really close to Fuji or Iraqi to Apologens them. So I think once he gets his hook, he can pull them in and then Apologens them perhaps, but that's gonna be a while away as we wait for him to get any armor.
Well, Sue Generous needs to get that level 6 so we can have a forced accord. Nobody has a reflex block yet from Gankstars, so it's all going to be easy pickings if he can get that level 6 in the next little bit. There goes the Hellfire. It's on top of T-Tigers, and, well, T-Tigers actually is showing that he does have that reflex, so he's not going to burn, but he did take the damage.
And they saw him using the reflex ball, so they know that's not available for him anymore. So if Fuji decides to afterburn him, he is not going to be able to block it for another 30 seconds.
But they can't seem to find that angle. Kroll's actually gone shopping. He picked himself up that Shiver Steel. So, I mean, both teams are actually in a really good spot for a team fight. Fuji, though, seems to be happy to farm rather than look for any kind of gank.
Doing quite well in terms of farm. If you compare him to Gabe Vizzle, that's an advantage of 16 creeps. But we've said many times before, Gabe Vizzle on that Krull, you really don't need to have that much of a monetary advantage to do well on Krull. But we do see Gankstars there starting that gold mine, so that's just giving a little bit more of an advantage in terms of gold.
Well, the only person right now that is here is Sweet Generous, and he's dropping real quick. Now that's going to be a stun on top of Fuji to stop any kind of, continued harass, and we're just going to punt back Gabe Vizzle. That's an immense gold payout. That's pretty easily picked up. Fuji got himself, that ult that's into Hell's Heart, or from Hell's Heart, and that's a pretty good pickup there as well. Yeah,
but we saw the really nice counter disengage coming out from him, where he used his afterburn to reposition himself and get away from Gabe Vizzle and T-Tigers. So that was really nice. He prevented any kills from that one, and the whole time he was distracting them and keeping them off the gold mine, which Arakizar and Rekt were easily able to pick up.
Yeah, but if they want to engage, like, now's a really good time. They're going to have a, well, okay, maybe not a good time. 15 seconds from now would be great. Because Arakizar will have the Hellfire, and they know that there's no counter stun to come out from Gavizzle. Not for another 30 seconds.
And Sweet Generous, but he has reached level 6 now. He's got that Force to Core, so there's potential of the hook. So they might be a little bit wary of that right now. But Rekt is just going to face check that bush.
Yeah, but Gavizzle will go straight for Arakizar. Where's Fuji? Now he's going to be coming into this one. Gavizzle's the target. Arakizar is going to burn, but they are going to trade it out. Now Rekt is rather low, and that's actually going to be a kill for T-Tigers. And now Sweet Generous, he will actually live right through it all. He came down to the wire, but Glaive just not enough damage in the bank to bring down the big guy. And T-Tigers just looked like he had the position of his life right there.
Yeah, that was a turnaround they needed. So Gavizzle, we saw jump straight onto him, reducing the damage coming out from Arakizar, which they needed. So they had to rely on Fuji as kind of the main damage output from that point. And then we saw the really nice Dragon's Breath coming out from T-Tiger. It was fully stacked up, so it was dealing a lot of damage. And the whole time Fuji actually walked into the Spitfire later on. So that just gave them the really nice turnaround that Kinetic were looking for.
I mean, Rekt face checked that, so they didn't exactly have the best of positioning. The Wolves came out a little bit late. I'm not entirely too sure we even had a Hellfire during that one, but at the same time, Gavizzle didn't have that Hell's Heart. He has it ready to go now. So, I mean, there was missing ultimates from both sides. Kinetic still took it very handily, and a turret to boot.
And what's actually really good to see right now is that T-Tiger's picking up that metal jacket and Gavizzle sitting in that cold place. They're prioritizing defense very early on, and it's really good to see, because if it just negates the damage coming out from Arakizar or Fuji, they're going to be able to last long enough in the fights to do a lot of damage. And we saw in that last fight that the tide is beginning to turn for them.
Armor. We're at the 10-minute mark, and we do got 2 sets of plates. One on T-Tigers, the other on Gavizzle. We have that reflex block there as well. This is a very defensive Kinetic crew, but that could be, you know, what we were talking about a little bit earlier. If you can actually armor up, double weapon can fall off.
Yeah, what we really need is Gavizzle to kind of just run at either Arakizar or Fuji and apply the Atlas Pauldron to reduce the stacks. Preferably Arakizar, because he doesn't actually have an escape like Fuji does. And there was that missed hook coming out from Sweet Generous.
That's one of the big one of the big weapons in the arsenal here that are just out, but we still actually have the Hell's Heart ready to go. Where is Kroll right now? There he is.
He's doing his own thing, farming.
Yeah, I was kind of curious, like, T-Tiger's there, Sweet Generous are there. There's no way they push up without him, but he's just doing a little bit of a farm. That's a bone saw coming out, and that is, you know, something that we've been seeing a lot of today, it seems.
The bone saw? Yeah, well, because they are double weapon, they should be anticipating that the enemy team will be building a lot of armor early on, and this is what Kinetic have done. By building the bone saw, even the double bone saw, that will shred away the armor, helping them just delete them a lot faster.
Fuji's coming up. Rekt is going to be, well, face checking the bush again. He did get a Spitfire the first time, but it cleared the second. Kroll is just not, they don't know that Kroll's missing. We know that Kroll is absolutely nowhere near. So if we went for a 3v2 under this turret, I think Fuji and crew might be able to actually take it, but of course they just don't have that vision going for them.
Sweet Generous is doing a really good job of babysitting, so I think they know that they can't really force a fight, so they are just going for the gold mine. They still do actually have the gold lead despite losing a turret at this point.
Tiny. I mean, hey, gold is gold. When you're behind, you need it. Actually, right now, Gankstars is ahead in gold.
So they're ahead in gold, and they don't have that tower either. But I feel like it's still quite a close game. I wouldn't say there's either a particular team who's more in control right now. I do want to see Gavizzle just jumping onto Arakizar, applying the Atlas Pauldron stacks, and letting just because he's so tanky, he's going for that really tanky crow build, just staying long enough to like just frontline for T-Tigers and keeping him in the game a bit longer.
No vision. Okay, the flare's going to be there. Here goes that Hell's Heart, and it will hit on top of Rekt. And Gavizzle goes DB's looking for that Arakizar. The tanker will bring them in right into that Dragon's Breath. But Kinetic, are they actually winning into this one? No, Fuji does enough damage. There's only 2 Generous left. He will get the kill, but it is Arakizar to escape with his life on that one. And the 5-man Slaughterfest will commence. Gankstars, however, come out on top this round.
And so Arakizar managed to pick up the ace there, where it seemed the only one left of life, and that turret is going down so fast. So we saw Gavizzle there with the really nice Hell's Heart, stunning Rekt for so long, and we did see him running into Arakizar. But the problem was he ran into Arakizar and Fuji, both who have a lot of weapon damage and who both have bone saws. So that did shred away the armor very quickly, and by that point it did leave T-Tigers and Sweet Generous very exposed once he was dead. And because there was the 2 carries on him, there wasn't really much they could do at that point.
So just got to keep it a little bit more compact. Maybe they need to wait for the hook instead of having Gabe Bizzle going in for it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Sweet Generous could have gone in with Gabe Bizzle. T-Tigers, I think, could have handled Rekt very easily enough, but there wasn't really a need for both of them to be on Rekt because he's not the carry, he's a support. There isn't really much he can do in terms of putting damage onto Kinetic.
Well, Kinetic has their 3-man stack ready down here in the bush. A little bit more armor, some infusions to come out now, and, well, who are they going to go on? They found Rekt. That's going to be a stun on him there as well. They're going to be trying to burn him through. We do not have the wolves. And just as well, the 2 seconds and counting until the attack of the pack was ready to go. So this will be a kill. This will be a gold mine, it seems. Fuji and Iraqi are just going to be pushing out lane, which may or may not come back to bite them in the butt.
Tigers is in a bit of a risky position because he is the one at the very front right now.
Yeah, but he has an entire team with him. Iraqi's going to get that turret, and they're going to try to peel out. Fuji is going to go down very quickly. Will Iraqi be able to get back in time? Because Gabe Bizzle, I think, is saying no, and I don't think Iraqi can win a 1v1 against Gabe.
Very risky that he went for the turret instead, so that although they got the turret, they have lost 2 people. They've lost Iraqi and they've lost Fuji. Oh, sorry. And the thing is, Scarf is very near that Kraken right now. I don't know if there's much Rekt can do to steal it off them.
Well, the Kraken's not actually started, so if they're going to be starting it up now, they might actually have to contend with Fuji, who has a high chance of stealing it. That is a lot of scout traps, though.
Yeah, it looks like the Kraken's got acne with a number of dots on its face.
Well, it might be ugly. It might still actually have acne. I don't know. I have to consult Donjon on that one, but Kinetic, it does look like they are going to pick it up pretty easy. Fuji's not interested in sticking his nose where it don't belong at all.
That's going to be giving Kinetic the buff that they need, so they'll be full up on energy. T-Tigers was looking a little bit low there. So I think, imagine we'll be seeing all the infusions coming up from Gabe Bizzle there, who's sitting on 1,000 gold.
And yeah, if you're going to infuse, now's definitely the time to do it. You got 1,000 gold laying around, might as well make use of it, because this could be a very powerful push. We got 4 turrets still standing, but Gankstars down in kills, still ahead in gold, but this Kraken could definitely make a difference in that.
Yeah, they're looking so healthy right now. This is a really good time for Kinetic to be looking for that fight. And there goes 3-man for support.
Yep, 3-man into that Hell's Heart, and that is a very dead Rekt.
Correct. He's just getting caught out every single time. He doesn't have a block, so I think they are recognizing this, and he's just getting caught out so many times by Gabe Bizzles from Hell's Heart, and I think that's something they need to be kind of working on for maybe Rekt getting a Crucible. He does need to be careful about not being caught out by that.
Alright, 2v3, we've still got Kinetic pushing in hard. That Kraken's not going to be lasting too much longer, but neither is that turret. We got 6 seconds until Rekt is coming back to life, and we still have the Hellfire Brew and the Bloodsong ready to go from Fuji, but we do not have the attack of the pack from Rekt. Regardless, they're going to play it safe. Kinetic's not going to take their leave. They are still not leading in gold, but the momentum is pretty heavy in their favor.
Tigers just teleporting away in time there. And I find it really interesting that although Gankstars Sirius only have 1 turret left, they are still ahead in gold by 2k. But we do see Kinetic at the risk of being caught out there as
Scout
bear down on them.
And Scout Mines and a Hell's Heart to keep Fuji in place. That's going to be a flare, but you know, Kinetic is ready to go. If there's going to be anything else going through this bush, well, Sweet Generous is going to know about it. Unfortunately, there's just nobody on their tail.
Right, getting the Crucible that we've been looking for, so hopefully he won't be getting caught out by those Hell's Heart anymore.
I mean, I'm not even sure that like the Hell's Heart's really going for Rekt. It just seems to be Rekt happens to be in the path of it almost every time.
Yeah, and you can't block it, so he is getting caught out by that every single time, and I think that is becoming a bit of an issue in that he can't use his Fountain or Warhorn to help defend his teammates.
That's definitely a massive issue. If you do get that like 3-4 second stun into these, it's going to be just lights out. That's a hook into Iraqi throw. He does not want to be this close to that front line, but Fuji getting into the back. He will be able to take down Gabe Bizzle, and now Rekt, well, he's going to be dropping low, but T-Tigers is going to be the target in the 3-on-1. Sure, they're going to trade it out, but Sweet Generous, can he actually pick up Rekt? Rekt is trying to just zig and zag and avoid that quibble. Well, gonna get hit, but it's just not enough. Sweet Generous has really no damage, and Fuji, yeah, you can't stun him, Fuji, but you will be able to kill him one of these days.
I wasn't sure he was gonna get killed on Rekt or not, but you know, Gankstars Sirius are still in the game. I think they could eat. This is looking very, very close, and I'm not sure if Gankstars Sirius can come back. Well, they're not coming back from anything. Kraken.
Rekt is like Kraken. We know that there's a Minion mine there, but that trap there. I am just going to have to eat so many criticisms on that one.
No, Kraken. Kraken!
All right, so they're gonna start it up. Rek is saying that this is our time. If Gankstars really want to make sure that they can continue on into this tournament, this Kraken has to go their way.
Well, we still see T-Tigers heading down. I don't know if this is a good position for him to be in, but they've not actually taken too much of the tart off the Kraken just yet, but he is all on his own.
T-Tigers? Oh, all right, dead Tigers. That feels like a throw.
No, that was that definitely, yeah.
And
I don't think
Gabe Bizzle cannot backdoor. I don't know how powerful you are, Kroll. Not gonna happen. No, so they're just gonna go home. This is a 2-man defense. Okay, Sweet Generis, are you just trying to show yourself? No, you just get to a bush. All right. This feels very scattered.
Yeah, I feel like Kinetic have lost their team play and their synergy that they were doing so well with before. You know, that T-Tigers thing definitely felt like a throw. He was just going way out of position there. Probably would have been, you know, done so much better if he just stayed with his teammates.
Oh, don't worry, we got a clockwork. We're good. No, we're definitely not. The crystal's gonna drop, and Gankstars don't even need the Kraken. The pressure was enough, and T-Tigers, I don't know what you were doing there, brother, but that is now gonna be a point on the board for Gankstars. They will continue on in a 2-1 for this best of 5. They're not out of the woods yet, but they have a point on the board, and they're not going quietly into this night, didn't you?
Things were looking very close for Gankstars there. So although they had like the early lead throughout the game, what happened, you know, Kinetic really fought back and they pushed it down to the last turret there for Gankstars. But you know, that last fight really turned things around there for Kinetic after T-Tigers made that horrible misstep and just gave himself up in what really does seem to be a throw for them.
Fuji God.